So welcome. My name is Cole. In here, you're in the academic and liberal learning session. So we have a couple different faculty, as well as I believe a student in here as well, who we're going to share with you guys. Just a few housekeeping rules for you. If you aren't speaking, we do ask that everyone keeps their microphone and or camera turned off for the duration of it. If you do have questions, there's a Q&A portion down at the very bottom there. That Q&A, you can send your question in there. I will help moderate that, put it up to our hosts, and then as well as we'll answer anything live or in that chat. If you need any links, I can provide them to you as we go through. But for the most part, we hope you guys get all the information you need and hope you enjoy it. So Jamie, if you'd like to kick things off, I will leave it with you for now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Orser, and I'm one of your program coordinators for Pre-Community, Pre-Technology, General Arts and Science College Exploration, and General Arts and Sciences 2-year diploma. Our other coordinator is Laura Haltham. I'll give her a chance to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Great to have such a great turnout. This is awesome. Yes, so I'm the other coordinator that you can see our email addresses at the top of the screen. You can always reach out if you have questions after this session that maybe we didn't cover or you think of later on. That always happens. And I also teach psychology into a number of the different programs. So if you have any specific questions about that area of study, you can always ask those as well.
And as the other coordinator, I'm one of the sociology faculty. So same goes for any of the sociology courses that are delivered into each of the programs. Feel free to reach out anytime with any questions, course related or program related to either of us. The other thing you're going to see as we go through on the top of each slide, you'll see our official websites for each of these programs. So those links you can take, will take you directly to the college website for each program area to give you more details around courses specific to each program, admission requirements, and more details as to pathway program areas. The 4 programs, like I said, we'll be going through today are Pre-Community, Pre-Technology, General Arts and Science 1-year college exploration, and General Arts and Sciences 2-year diploma. We'll talk about the differences between each program in addition to admission requirements, as well as what are some of the unique benefits that come with a pathway program like Pre-Community, Pre-Technology, or our college exploration. Jim, did you want to pop in and introduce yourself?
Sure. I've been asked not to put my face up on the screen because I'm not as good looking as these other people. But I am the Associate Dean of Liberal Studies in Welland, and these programs all fall under my control. So I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you today. You're meeting 2 of the best faculty in the college today, but there are a lot of other faculty that are there strictly for your success. This is a pathway program. These are pathway programs that you're using to try and figure out where you want to go and to prepare you. And I can tell you that our graduates, either from the 1-year General Arts and Science or pre-programs or the 2-year diploma, are prepared to go on and be successful in whether it's other college programs or university degree programs. Our students are successful when they leave us, and they're prepared for whatever challenges they face. So again, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to pop out now because I'm going over to pre-health, but I'll leave you in good hands here for sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. David, did you want to pop in at all while you're here, while we have you? I know you're coming in and out from various programs.
Sure, thanks very much. I'll be very brief because I know we have a lot of information to get to, but again, I want to thank you all for joining us in the open house, and I hope that you get the information that you need to make an informed decision about your academic career. And feel free to ask any and all questions. And of course, our presenters here today have a wealth of information, and and experience to share with you. And so again, I hope you choose Niagara. Again, I hope we see you in the halls of Niagara rather than virtually, but you know, time will tell, and I hope that we see you in September. Thank you very much for joining, and have a great session.
Thanks, David. And lastly, I think the last face that we need to be introduced to is Jenny Nibone, who is a former student of mine, and I believe Laura's former student as well. Jenny, did you want to pop in and say hello?
Hi, I took the PreCommunity course last year, which I found was a huge stepping stone to building the confidence and knowledge I needed to decide what course I was going to go into. When you're entering college at first, you're kind of not too sure where to go, and entering the PreCommunity, it really allowed me to actually take the huge steps back that I needed to assess myself and find my comfort zone, my comfort level. And where I really wanted to be, the professors help a lot too. We had great professors that would talk to you and take the time. So I've now gone into the child and youth care program. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and so glad that I entered the PreCommunity to prepare me to go into that course, because I'm not sure where I actually would have gone or where I would have been at this point in time.
Thanks, Jenny. I believe we have you here for the whole hour. Is that correct, Jenny? So
yes.
She can be here. Sweet. So she can be here to speak to that student perspective as we go through. And like Cole mentioned in the beginning, if any of any of you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to put them in the Q&A or in the chat window, and we will be able to pause the presentation and address them right away, or we'll push them until the end, depending upon the content of the question, if the presentation might answer it as we go. So once again, Q&A and the chat window for any questions. Cole will be moderating and making sure that we don't miss those.
I do have the first question, actually, if you guys don't mind if I throw it in here for you to answer live.
Sure.
The student was wondering, what software will the program be held through?
Software as in like which, what ways will we be delivering content? Is that the question, Jonathan? Okay,
Yes,
so all of our programs use a learning management system called Blackboard. So all of your faculty will be delivering any course content through that learning management system. With respect to any synchronous components, oftentimes we use the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra for those live sessions with faculty. Laura, did you want to speak a little bit to Collaborate? Because I know you have some experience with that.
Absolutely. Yes, Collaborate's so easy. I've been using it with my students all term, and maybe Jenny can speak to it as well. I just, generate a link, send it to the students, they click on, and through Blackboard, they can join the session. It's a lot like Zoom, but once you're in Blackboard, I find it easier because I don't find that students have a hard time getting on. They don't have to update it. It's just there for them to access. And then I record my live sessions, and students can watch it later on in case you miss that session. So it's really good in that way. The other thing I would recommend as far as software goes is that you have access to Microsoft, PowerPoint, Word documents, or something along those lines. I know some students started this term without that, and it was very difficult for them. So you're going to want to have whatever you use, that it has that system as well.
Jenny, did you want to speak to the student perspective on Blackboard Collaborate or the Blackboard Learning Management System?
I was a little nervous too, because I wasn't sure where to go or what to do when I first heard that. You hear collaborative and you're like, well, what do I, what's it about? But it's the easiest thing because there's a tab to the left of the margin when you go into your Blackboard classroom. And all you simply do is just click on the Blackboard Collaborative, and then you just click on the link to get in. It brings you right in to join the session. So it's very simple, it's very easy. It's easy to chat through as well because there's a messenger page. If you don't want to show your face or use the microphone, you can also chat back and forth with the teacher and other students as well. But it is very easy. I know what you're saying is the students should have that Word document. They should have the PowerPoint, possibly even Excel. A lot of students came in using the Microsoft documents. The Google Docs, I guess, is what they use when they come straight from high school. And that didn't seem to really work well with a lot of the programs, or sort of the assignments that we were doing. We couldn't upload them, is what the problem was, because you can still do the same thing in Google Docs. And that's a big question everybody keeps asking, can we still use Google Docs? We couldn't figure out how to get the documents from Google Docs over and to upload them to our assignment page. So a lot of the students unfortunately had to kind of figure out how to redo that.
Thanks, Jenny. The Microsoft Suite is the Microsoft Suite is available through our IT department. So if you don't have access to that software, you can get access. And our ITS department is really great at ensuring in the beginning of the term that you're able to have access to all of those programs that you'll need for the whichever program you enter into.
And they're very patient.
Okay, so
they're very kind when in helping you. Let me tell you, because I've had to use them a few times as well, being an older student, and they're very helpful.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, should we dive in and then start looking at, I see there's another question around the differences between the programs. So our presentation is actually going to go through each program and highlight the differences. So Vagya, if you can be patient a little bit, I think in the next few slides, you'll see the difference between our program areas, okay? So, okay, we're gonna start with our pre-community program. Forgive me for 1 second. I just need to close the chat and the question and answer so I can actually see the slide that I'm referring to on my computer because I'm sharing my screen. So the pre-community program that we have is a pathway for community programs. So if you know that you are interested in getting into a community program area because you're set on that direction, but you're not sure which community program would best suit you, this Preprogram Pathway is the one for you. It is designed so that you get a glimpse of some of the first term courses in these community programs, and it will allow you to sort of explore a community related curriculum to be able to really decide which program is best for you. Jenny, I think this, you spoke to this being a really good program for you and directing you. Did you want to highlight a little bit how Pre-Community gave you that direction or helped you find that direction?
Because of the different psychology, I kind of knew where the path I wanted to kind of travel down, but I wasn't exactly sure what program was going to be best suited for me. Speaking with my professors was a huge help from the program that kind of guided me into the direction of child and youth care. But I just found taking the courses and the huge diversity of topics that you're learning really kind of gave me an idea of which piqued my interest a lot more. And the good thing too about taking the pre-community is a lot of people don't realize, depending where you go, a lot of these programs are also an equivalent to the programs that, or the courses that you will be taking in your future course. So it also helps to add on to that as well, that when you finally go into the program you're going to be taking, there's a lot of equivalency courses that you can kind of take and roll over to it. But I found it helped build the confidence. I wasn't very confident as a student. I wasn't very secure or sure of myself going into the college on what to expect, how I was going to be able to handle it. The course load obviously is a lot different from coming from the high school system as well. So I found that just taking these courses, taking the different psychology, sociology, communications, really helped prepare me to better understand what the workload was going to be, what the different topics were that we touched on, as to what, like I said before, piqued your interest to help you decide better where you're going to go. A lot of people assume that, I noticed when I was taking the pre-community course, a lot of them said to me that they wanted to get into the social service worker program. And a lot of them decided afterwards that it wasn't something they were actually interested in. They did social service work, some of them went into that, but some of them also went into the community and justice services because they wanted to do a little bit something different from that aspect of it. Some of them I even met up with in the child and youth care program, and I said, well, I thought you were going in to do this, the ECE. And they said, well, you know what, we really want to kind of do this, and you know, we get a little bit more experience in doing that. And So there was a huge difference. I even had people who went into the policing program. Some of my students that I went to classes with, they went into the policing program as well. So a lot of people who kind of knew what they wanted to get into and go into when they first entered this program didn't necessarily go into what they thought or originally intended, because they have one perception, I guess, on what it's going to be like. And it's basically the description that you read, which is a very good one on the website, but it's not intuitive to who you are. And so the pre-community helped helped me to discover who I was, and not just the description that I was being given. So it helped kind of, I guess, match me to the program that I felt was going to be best suited for me, that I was actually going to truly love and want to do more with and be more involved with. So it helped me to decide that aspect of it. So I thought it was a really good program. I fell kind of backwards into that. I was originally trying to get into the social service worker program. I procrastinated. It got waitlisted. So I took pre-community and thought, you know, we'll try this out and see what happens. And it was the biggest blessing. It truly was the biggest blessing, because I would not have had the confidence at that time to better understand that social service work is great of a program as it is. For me, myself, personally, it wasn't my interest or intention, because I really wanted to do something different and something more. And the child and youth care is what kind of is giving me that branch of wanting to work with, for me, Aboriginal youth. I've now started to get more involved in volunteering, so that way when I'm done the program, I can kind of head into that path, because I'm Aboriginal myself. And it's just been a great passion to want to work with you know, the young youth of today that are at risk. And that's basically where this program was taking me, and gave me the steps to go ahead and have the confidence to get into there and more involved.
Thanks, Jenny. Your story is amazing. And like Jenny said, it oftentimes happens by accident, right? You end up in a pre-pathway program because you originally wanted to get into a competitive program, and you weren't able to, so you land in a pre-pathway program like pre-community. But it ends up being, as Jenny described it, as a blessing, because it gives you the space to really take a look at who you are, what you want to do, and get your feet wet with some of those community-specific courses like psychology and sociology, and even your math and your communication, to sort of clarify some of the expectations moving forward. So again, that pre-community pathway program is a pathway stepping stone for our community programs like child and youth care, community and justice services, early childhood education, education assistance, special needs support, fitness and health promotion, recreation therapy, social service worker, or any other community program offered at the college. Similarly, we have a pre-technology program, which is for any of the trade or technology programs. So it acts much in the same way as our pre-community program does, but for some of the program areas like carpentry, civil engineering technician, computer engineering technician, computer programming, electrical engineering, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, and other trades and technology programs. So you'll see in your first and second term, you're able to take a number of courses that are related to your program of interest. So if you know you're interested in community, pre-community is an excellent pathway. If you know you're interested in trades or technology, pre-technology would be your pathway forward there. Our third program that we're going to discuss is our General Arts and Science College Exploration. So this is our one-year General Arts and Sciences program, which is oftentimes used as a pathway program as well. This is for students who are unsure of a program area or a field of study. So if you don't know if trades or technology or community or health or any of the other, if you're unsure and you have no clue and you want to really explore various disciplines before you decide, the College Exploration one-year certificate allows you to do just that. The General Arts and Sciences diploma is also very similar, but it's a 2-year diploma program. So you're able to design your own interdisciplinary program by selecting what, when, and how you learn. And that can be based on your own individual goals. So you're able to sort of design a 2-year college level diploma with flexibility and freedom to take the courses that you're most interested in. Both the general arts and sciences programs can be used as pathways to really any program on campus, whether it be broadcasting, a business program, child and youth care, community and justice services, hospitality, paramedic, social service worker, or technology. So you don't have to take pre-community to get into a pre-community program. If you did general arts and science college exploration and you realize community is your direction, that can act as a stepping stone as well. But the general arts and sciences 2 programs, the 1-year college exploration and the 2-year diploma, they're for students who are unsure and want to explore more college level courses from various disciplines before committing to a specific field of study. Okay, so moving on to admission requirements for any of our 4, and please interrupt me because I can't see the Q&A or the chat anymore, but if something comes up, let me know.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Cole.
Hi there. We did just get one question. Do you mind if I read it out loud for you?
No, go for it.
The question is from Caitlin. It says, I love child and youth care. What practical tasks will I have in each course I take for the child and youth program?
So with the child and youth care program, I mean, Jenny, you can really connect with this specifically because you're currently in it. But if you were to take pre-community, there's 2 specific courses that you would take that apply directly to your program area. Child and youth is really made up of psychology and sociology courses. And in that first term in pre-community, you would take one of each, like an introduction to sociology, diversity, and psychology. Jenny, did you want to pick that up?
No, I do agree with you. So there is various actually psychology and sociology and communication courses, 2 communication courses that you would have to take leading into, I guess if you're doing like one of the pathway courses. With child and youth care, it is basically made up a lot of sociology and psychology courses, only because of what the field is that you're going into, and it deals obviously geared around the youth of today. So I found though, in now taking the child and youth care, the pre-com was the most beneficial for me to start off in this because it is a heavier workload. It's a condensed program, so you're kind of all year round. There isn't that break where you go from September to May kind of thing, and then you have that break in between. It's actually an all year round program. So it did prepare me for the caseload of that, which it's not scary. It's just, it's dedication. You have to make sure that this is your passion. You know, like I do have a fellow student who complained that they are older because they spent years going into esthetician, mechanics, massage therapy, then they did the AutoCAD course and then decided all of a sudden that that's not what they wanted to do, but they weren't aware of these pathway programs like the pre-community to get into the child and youth care. So I just find like it's a nice course load. We have great professors, but it is a little bit different in the sense that you have to have the dedication, you have to have the want, you have to get involved. Always speak to your professors, always ask questions, never be afraid to ask questions because there is really no right or wrong question. A question is a question, and it's always good to find out going into this. But I wouldn't change it. There is a lot of doors that can open to you in working with this. So it's just reading the course load, figuring out if this is who you really want to be and this is what you really want to do. There's nothing special that you should know going into it because it's always going to be a new open door for every class you take. There's always something different, but I would recommend this program highly, highly, highly to anybody who wants to get involved working with at-risk youth, early school leavers, anyone in that I guess it's like a cycle of youth that are in trouble. You know, they go from one home to the next home where they're in, you know, always in trouble. They're not sure where they want to go or where they want to be. And like I said, mine was the Aboriginal, working with the at-risk youth in there. So it is a course dedicated towards that specific thing, I guess, that goal. It's what we talk about a lot, which is like the foundations of child and youth care kind of thing is a big one. So yeah, I would highly recommend it to anybody. It's such a welcoming program. It's beautifully done. It's very well done. The information is very well knowledgeable from the first term that you're in there. It really does prepare you on your expectations on what's going to come in the long run.
Thanks, Jenny. And Caitlin, one more thing that I wanted to add there is if you were to take pre-community, you would take a course called Sociology 1430. It's around equity, diversity, and inclusion in Canada. It was the course that I had Jenny as a student in, and the course is equivalent to a required course for child and youth, which is Sociology 1424, I believe. And this will give you the practical skills to work with diverse groups. So when you're working with a youth population in, an LGBTQIA+ community, or an Indigenous community, or a racialized community, and we also look at varying abilities in this course. So those practical skills give you empathy, equity, and an inclusive lens, and teach you how to work with diverse groups. So some of the practical components there would directly apply to your program. Does that
has another
answer
question.
your question?
Yeah, she has another one. It says, I love psychology. Thank you so much. Is child and youth care specifically for little kids and teenagers? No, it's not actually. It's for young adults as well. So you're going to be dealing with kids, teenagers, and young adults up to around age, 25, Jamie? That we discussed? Yeah.
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
So you will be, yes.
I'm just going to jump in here just for the attendees. If you guys have any questions, we can see some room at the end just to let the presentation get completed, and then we'll answer all the questions at once at the end, okay?
Thanks, Cole.
Okay. So I'll speak to the admission requirements. Then I just noticed that Amanda Johnson has popped on, which is perfect timing, Amanda. She's the coordinator of our English department. And you'll notice on the slide for admission requirements, English is a requirement at any grade 12 C or U or equivalent. But note that applicants lacking the English requirements are still encouraged to apply for the program and will be considered for admission on an individual basis. Amanda, did you want to touch on anything? Sorry to put you on the spot, but touch on anything about English, what you would recommend, what types of things that you might do in the programs that we offer?
I'm just getting the video set up. I popped in from the pre-health program. So what we have for pre-programs and general arts and science is we offer 3 different levels of communication courses. So we have an introductory to communication course, and that introduces or refreshes you to the logical processes of reading and comprehension and writing, all within the college atmosphere. So you're looking at how to read textbooks, how to read academic papers, what the meaning might be and how to figure out meaning based on some contextual cues. We look at improving those writing skills so that you're at that college level when you begin the program. And then in each of these areas, pre-community, pre-tech, and arts and science, we offer a level 1 communications course, which is an introduction to your field-specific area as far as research and documentation and basic workplace writing, academic writing for that area. So in pre-community, we offer what's called COM 1140, and the number won't mean anything to you right now, but COM 1140 focuses on essay and academic writing and workplace documents that are appropriate for the community workplaces. We offer in pre-technology COM 1125, which is again research and documentation that's appropriate for technology programs, and then some workplace documents that would be appropriate for technology fields as well. So our level 1 programs are specific to the different areas that you'd be taking. If you're taking the level 1 programs in the pre-programs, you don't have to take them again in the program you want to get into if you are successful. And so you know, the more that you can do in the pre-program, that kind of catapults you ahead in your main program. And then as a communications department, once you're into your chosen program, whether it's child and youth or one of the tech programs, we have level 2 courses that are specific to interpersonal communication, teamwork, conflict resolution, report writing, depending on what's appropriate for the field. So there's a tiered approach, kind of 3 levels of communication that you're guided through as you take the pre-programs in general arts and science, and they're designed to tie exactly into what you hope to do professionally. Any questions about that? Cole, I know you had said you were going to receive, hold on to the questions until the end. So if anyone has questions, put them in the chat and I can be around at the end to answer those. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. So it's so helpful. And that's why we wanted to have as many people on to answer all your questions that you might have. And English is a big one because it's a big component necessary for all courses that you want to get into across the college. And the next person that has joined us is Mark, and he is the coordinator of math. So he can speak to the math specifically, I mean, any of the maths and any of the programs, but specifically to pre-technology.
Oh, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect, thanks.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Mark Skrzynskis. I'm the coordinator of the math department at Welland. I just wanted to drop in and answer any questions that people might have regarding the math courses that the pre-programs take, or the GAS at that point there. Depending on which program you're in, depends on which courses you're obviously going to be taking. I can tell you that all the courses are really well scaffolded, and then at that point there that there's a lot of resources as well. So pre-technology, really the aim of the math courses in here is to get you up to snuff so that you're able to really compete well in any of the tech programs that you take. Preferably at Niagara College, but really at any college. And they really work on making sure you have the foundational skills to be successful. In addition to all of the amazing faculty that we have that teach into these programs, though, there are a lot of resources available to students. So we have peer tutoring, which is if sometimes students, they have a little bit of a hesitancy reaching out to an instructor, which I really hope that they're willing to overcome that. But if not, then there's peer tutoring where you can sign on and receive some assistance from someone that's either completed that course previously or has completed a course that's deemed eligible. It's a bit more advanced than that. And in addition to the peer tutoring, which is free of charge too, there's also academic drop-in sessions. So there's essentially a math let's say know-it-all, someone that's very strong. It's not necessarily faculty, but someone that's employed by the college, and they're sitting basically either virtually or in the library if we're back on campus, waiting pretty well for anyone to come and ask any questions regarding the math courses that we are offered here. So really there's a lot of resources over and above just your faculty alone to kind of get you prepared and able to really compete into any of the programs you're hoping to get into. But if there's any questions, please feel free to whether ask them now or put them in the chat, and I'm more than happy to address them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. So helpful for everybody just hear about math and English and those specifics. And as Mark mentioned, we do have great resources. And I don't have to say them again because he already said them, but really helpful to have that, the tutoring, the peer tutoring, especially for classes that, people might feel that they're struggling with. It's available.
The other thing I wanted to highlight, if I can jump in, Laura, is that all of our programs, all 4 of them, they're non-competitive. So if you meet the admission requirements, then you will be accepted into the program. So the grade 12 English credit and applications are now open, and you see at the bottom the website for how to apply. It's niagaracollege.ca. And again, I wanted to remind you at the top of the slide Those are the links. And Caitlin, with your specific question around course specific information, those links will give you more detail on the specific courses for each of our program areas. So head over to those official college websites for more information, and then dive into the niagaracollege.ca for your application process. Okay, the last thing that we're going to go through is the benefits of our pre-program pathways and our general arts and sciences pathways. The first one that we're looking at, and I feel we've touched on most of these already, but we'll just highlight as a summary maybe for the presentation. The first one is your 2 transcripts. If you take pre-community or pre-technology or even college exploration, your transcripts for that 1-year program will be combined with your high school transcripts in your next application. So they'll consider your, if grades were one of the reasons why you didn't get accepted into a competitive program, then the second time you apply after graduating with a pre-community or pre-technology diploma, they'll consider both marks, and they usually, with your academic or your admission ranking, they usually factor in an average of both your communication and your high school English grades. The second one that we're looking at here is, as Jenny already mentioned, you get the opportunity to connect with faculty and your student advisors to really whittle down your interest in a particular field of study. So you can ask questions and you can get that guidance that you need with your specific discipline areas that you're interested in. The other piece is, in all of our programs, we have an academic and career preparation course, which really allows you to critically examine who you are, what you're interested in, and how that translates to future goals with respect to academics and career pathways. So that course in particular is really beneficial for students who are unsure and interested in doing a deeper dive into, what are the things you should be considering in trying to figure out where you want to go. That academic and career preparation course is great for that. Jenny or Laura, did you have anything to add at this stage around the academic and career prep course?
I can jump in, and then Jenny, if you want to jump in. I'm teaching it right now, actually. And yeah, it's great because I've had a lot of students who will say to me, oh my gosh, I thought I was interested in this pathway. And then they started doing the different assessments that we do. They might be repeats from what you, some of you did in college, but maybe new to a lot of, or sorry, in high school, but maybe new to a lot of you. And it just really opens up your eyes to a lot of professions that are out there that you may never even have heard of. And then, as Jenny mentioned, it helps you to realize, do I want to get into something like social service worker, or do I want to get into child and youth worker? We have people that will start the early childhood education program thinking that they're in the child and youth care program and thinking that that's where that program will take them, and it's not. So it's a great course for that. And yeah, Jenny can kind of add.
It is a really great course to kind of figure that out as well, because a lot of people, when you read the description as well, you assume that it's one thing, but it really isn't until you actually get involved and you start to see further into it. But taking the pathway course of the pre-community and the different sociology and psychology courses, it kind of helped me break down where my interest was in the different topics that we touched on in class. And, speaking to the professors, the friendly faculty and advisors to guide you, it's an honestly true statement that goes hand in hand with the academic drop-ins, the peer tutoring. It's always been very helpful. If you're even not sure, the emails that were provided at the beginning of this presentation for Jamie and for Laura, even ask them questions, because they were actually extremely helpful in answering any questions. I know, Jamie, I talked to you a lot, which got me interested in wanting to deal with the Aboriginal youth aspect of things because of all your volunteer work that you partaked in. So I was very impressed by that and very intrigued all the time. And that's kind of why I want to follow my path in doing that as well. Sometimes coming in as a student, you're not always quite sure. There's not always the confidence there because you get a mindset of, oh yeah, when I leave high school, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm going to go. And there's a I guess, a misconception or preconception of how college is going to be. You know, obviously movies kind of play that to you. You see it, but it's a great pathway. It helped me discover myself. It helped me discover my interests. It helped me to discover especially my strengths and what I was strong in that I never even thought that I was going to be strong in. You know, I just thought, yes, I love to talk, as you can see, but I also really enjoy and love to help people and hear people and listen to their stories and trying to help them through that as well. So like I said, my thing was I wanted to get into the social working program of things when I first started, but I got waitlisted, landed into PreCommunity, which really helped me see that social work program wasn't exactly the best path for me at this time. That's not where I wanted to take myself. So that's how I got into the child and youth care. So it is a great stepping stone for self-confidence, for self-knowledge. It teaches you a lot to explore a lot more about yourself and your interests.